Today on In the Wood Yard, we've got a delivery for firewood. It's for pine, because pine is fine. Here we go. So the customer that's buying this load of wood buys from me every year at least 2 full cords of oak or hardwood, whatever they can get. And they started doing outside campfires this year, and he said they wanted some stuff that's not the good stuff. He said some lower grade wood. I said, well, then you want pine? And he said that would be fine. So I'm going to be delivering 2 face cords, or 2/3 of a cord, of pine, which I have right here in this pile. There's quite a big pile here. Hopefully I can sell a bunch of this year for campfire wood, so that is the plan. So I'm going to load this up and I'm going to go deliver it, and then while I'm on the delivery, because this is one that I have to go 30 miles, something like that, 25 miles I think it is. And I've got something to talk about. Got some things that came up on the channel, some discussions that were had between people, and we're going to talk about them. So loading time. So there it is, 2 face cords, or 2/3 of a cord. It's actually probably almost close to a full cord, because to this board, if I get it level, it's full, and all I gotta do is fill the ends in. So it's a bunch of wood, pine, which is great wood. And it's loaded. We're gonna go deliver it, and then on the way there, because I got a good 20 minutes, 30 minutes ride, we're gonna talk about some good things that I think you guys are gonna wanna hear about. I recently did a video on Hagglers, and there was a lot of really good comments on that particular one about people trying to get deals and how people have handled it. And we're going to talk about it because there were some great answers, some funny ones, some that were kind of risky, but there were some good ones. So we're going to talk about them. So here we go, delivery time.
Latin time.
So we're on the road, we're heading to do the delivery, and like I said, I want to talk about some of the comments that came up when we talked about on the channel like a week ago, I think the video was, about Hagglers, people that want to make a deal with you. They think you're Monty Hall, where for you old people, you know how that is. They want to make a deal and get something at a discount, even though you put your literal blood, sweat, and tears into your firewood. Because technically, I think, this is what I think, firewood should sell for twice as much as it does, for as much work as you put into it. And as hard as it is to get in some areas, it should sell for a lot more than it does. But unfortunately, there's too many people that give it away, which is fine if they want to donate it to a good cause. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. But what I mean by give it away is that they don't even cover their costs, and yet they think they're making money. They don't cover their fuel, their equipment. They don't pay for their own time they put into it. And if you're not charging at least somewhere close to $100 for 1/3 of a cord, face cord, you're selling it too cheap. That's just my opinion. But if you're in an area where there's not very many people and lots of trees, your price is going to be less. And if you're in an area where there's lots of people, not many trees, then you can charge more. Now, on to the comments about Hagglers. One of the guys in the comments said one time he got there, I don't know if he dumped or unloaded 1/3 of a cord, and it was supposed to be $100. And after he had it on the ground, the guy said to him something about, here's $80. That's what I want to pay you. And he loaded it back up and drove away. So I would do the same thing. Now, I have delivered to guys that paid me with a check a couple times, and I don't want checks. I basically tell people I take 2 forms of payment, big bills and small bills. I want cash, because cash is good. And so I had one guy, I think this happened twice, that somebody wrote me a check, even though I had told them over the phone or in the text, in the messages, that it had to be cash, and that's what I accept, cash. And when they get there, like, oh, I don't have any cash, all I got is a check. Will you take a check? Well, what am I going to do after it's already on the ground? And I'm like, well, I'll take a check, but this is what I say to them if they do that, yeah, I'll take a check, And then they say, well, it's good. Well, like one guy on the channel said, well, would you tell me if it wasn't? Like, really? So what I say is that it better be, because if it's not, I'm coming back and getting my wood. And I mean it. I'm not joking about that. I will come back and get my wood. And I say it kind of smiling and laughing at the same time, but I want them to know that I'm not kidding. I will come back and get my wood. I've never had a problem, which is good. But yeah, there was a couple good stories in there. One of them came from S'more Firewood. I think it was Millie, or her dad may have said this, that they asked the people if they want a deal. When people ask them if they can get a deal, they say, well, which part of the cutting, the splitting, the stacking, the drying, or the delivering do you want to cut out? Because all of that is why we charge what we do. Something like that, which is a good way to say it too, because you got to pretty much let them know that a lot of work goes into it. So I thought that was a really good comment, the way they handle it too. And just being able to say no to people. A lot of people just said, you know, they don't deal with it. They just say to people, I sell all the wood that I make every year, and I don't need to offer it at a discount. So they just say no. And that's what you should do, I think. Unless you got someone that does want to buy a large quantity, and maybe they're someone who buys very often, and maybe what you can do is offer them something that's not just the wood at a discount. But I would not discount your regular product. What I would do is have maybe a bundle of kindling or something to offer them, or to offer them a discount on the delivery, something like that. But as far as offering a discount on your wood, I wouldn't really recommend that. I think you're selling yourself short, cutting your own throat, and then once you offer a deal to someone, they're generally going to try to take advantage of it all the time. Now, a couple guys made comments about, well, haggling is half the fun of dealing with cash, is that it's fun. And they say it never hurts. Well, yes, it does hurt. And that's something I wrote into the comments back to them, that your reputation is more valuable than a few dollars, in my opinion. And if you're a person that's always asking for a deal, and you're saying, well, it never hurts, well, yeah, it's going to, because eventually, somehow, some way, people aren't going to want to deal with you anymore. And when you really need a product or service, and they have what you want, and they're going to say, no, you know, I'd rather not deal with you. It's not, I got other people I can sell it to. Or maybe they're going to short you in a way that normally they wouldn't. Maybe you're not going to get as good a wood. Maybe you're not going to get a little extra wood. Maybe you're not going to get a free bundle of kindling. Maybe you're not going to get fast, prompt delivery. Maybe they're going to put you on the back burner and say, yep, I can get to you in like in 3 months. So if you're a person that is wanting to constantly wheel and deal, and get a discount on something that shouldn't be discounted, I think in a way you're damaging your reputation. I could be wrong, but that's me. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. My personal belief is, if I get someone that wants to deal all the time, I don't want to deal with them. I'll just say no. I won't answer their call. I won't answer their text. Tell them I'm out of wood. I don't want to sell to them anymore. I've done that in my other business too, in my photography business. We get someone that wheels and deals. I had one guy one time in my photography business that their bill was supposed to be, I don't remember exactly, it might have been $700 or $800. I can't remember what it was. We had done a bunch of photographs, and what they wanted was going to come to like $700, $800, somewhere in that range, which was a lot of pictures. It was really nice and everything. He said, I'll tell you what. He said, I've done a little research, and I have found that I can get pretty much the same thing for about $100 less at somebody else's studio. I said, then I guess you better go there, because the price is the price. I don't deal. And the guy ended up ordering same amount and didn't complain, and he came back the next year and ordered again. And I remember the person that was doing our sales at the time said to him that he was like that all the way through the whole sale. He was always a problem, and I should have just told him, here's your money back, and made him go away. I should have fired that customer, because he was a pain. And there are a certain percentage of people, 5, maybe 10% of the population, that's how they are all the time. You're never going to make them happy. You're never going to discount it enough. And one of the guys in the comments made a comment like this: will you tell me what percent off you want? Do you want 20% off? Do you want 50% off? Do you want 80% off? And then I can tell you my starting price, so that I get the money that I want, need, and have to have for the product. So say for instance you had someone that said, well, I want to get 80% off, and you want to get $100 for a third of a quarter wood. You can say, well, I can do that. I can knock 80% off. Let's see, I'll do some math for you. So 80%, I need my price to be down to $100 if that's what's going to make you happy. You know, whatever it ends up being. I can't do the math in my head, but just say, oh, it's $300 then, and I can knock off, well, that would be 66% off. So I'm getting close. That's not 600. Maybe that would be $400, would be 75% off if you knocked it down to 100 from 400. So somewhere in that range, you would say, well, yeah, my regular price is $450, whatever it is, for a face cord. So I can offer you an 80% discount. It'd be $100. Would that make you happy? It's another way to handle it. I thought that was kind of interesting. So there's all kinds of ways you can approach it. But basically, I think what it comes down to is you need to educate people to why the price is the price. And yes, there are certain segments of the population, some of them may be newer immigrants from other countries, and that's the way they deal. But in the United States, do you go and negotiate at the grocery store? No, you don't. The price is the price. There are car dealerships you can negotiate, but even that's going away. Some of them are saying the price is the price. And that's the way it works. Do you negotiate your bill on car repairs? No. Their labor price is a certain amount per hour, and their parts cost a certain amount. You're going to pay the price. That's the way it is. Yes, you might be able to find a cheaper way to get, you know, services and goods, but in my experience, you're going to get what you pay for. And if someone's offering you something at a great discount or a lot less than everybody else, there's usually a reason why. They either need the business because no one wants to go to them, they have very poor products, very poor service, or something like that. And is that really what you want? And is that who you want to deal with? I want someone that's going to be there in the long run, someone that's been around a long time, someone I can depend on, someone that I can trust to get a really good product or service. So those are all things to think about. And there was tons of other good comments in there. If you want to go back to that video, it was titled No Hagglers. And it was about a week ago. But there were some really good comments in there. And if you need to have some creative answers to people when they want to deal and haggle with you, there were some good ones in there. Check them out. I'm not saying that you have to use them, but there were some great ones. And I'm going to be using some of them because I liked them. There were some very, very good responses. Easiest one to just say is nope, walk away. So we're gonna go deliver this load of wood right now. Got a few miles to go yet. So I'm back from the delivery, and when I was driving back, I thought of one other response that one of the guys on my channel made about the people that wanted to be hagglers and get a deal. And he said, what if your boss came to you and said, hey, you know that $30 an hour we're paying you? We're thinking of knocking it down like 50%. That's what we're going to offer, $15. How would you feel about that? Especially if you're a hardworking person that actually produces something. That's just something to think about. So that's another thing you could say to people. Say, yeah, have your boss ever offered 50% less than what you're paid now or what you are worth? Wouldn't be good. So don't do that. Don't be that guy. That's it for today, folks. I'll be back tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Right now, you're going to go watch another video because that's the best thing you can do to help my channel. Watch time. More watching of videos. Good night, Irene.